All right, everybody, how's it going out there? Rooster here in Tennessee. Today, going to take a look at a combination video here. President McKinley with a RM Italy 503. Now, this is not the 503 HD, just the regular 503. Has all the features of a 503 HD, just doesn't take as much drive to make it get up and go. So if you have a radio that does less than 35 or 40 watts PEP, you're actually better off with the regular 503 model. And we're going to demonstrate that here today, testing it out with this President McKinley. From time to time, I like to do these little combination videos to give people kind of ideas of good little setups that work well together. And the President McKinley and the RM503 are no exception. You can run both of these on a 50 amp power supply, and I would recommend the Jesfordy power supply that I just recently started carrying, variable voltage 50 amps. So you put those three items together, you have a nice little combination. We're going to test on my big power supply. I'm going to test it at 14.6 volts. I've got a 50 watt slug in there right now, but we'll go ahead and pop that guy out, and we will put a 1000 in. So you guys can see there, 1000 watt slug. And we're going to test this combination on sideband and on AM. Now when I go to AM, I'll probably have to set the camera down and adjust our dead key out. It kind of takes both hands with these McKinleys. But we'll go ahead and test it on sideband. Now our McKinley is doing about 20 watts PEP, give or take. Sometimes they do about 18, sometimes they do about 22. This one's actually doing about 22, or doing about 20 watts PEP. So I'm just going to turn the amp on here, and we'll go to sideband mode, so we have our delay working. And preamp obviously does work, boost your receive or whatever. We'll go to sideband mode, so we're on upper sideband there. I'm just going to speak into the mic and let you guys see the current that it draws. Let's see. Check, check, audio, 1, 2, 3, audio, check, 1, 2, 3, audio. So almost 40 amps with that higher pitched audio, but generally drawing between 25 and 35 amps, just talking into it normal. Again, that is wide open on the 503. Let's go over here to the watt meter. We're going to turn our peak kit on. And we do have the 1000 watt slug in there, so we're going to look at the bottom scale. So I'm just going to talk into the microphone normal. Radio check, 1, 2, 3, radio check, 1, 2, 3, audio test, 1, 2, 3, and it's really getting with it, showing about 400 watts PEP. Now that is pretty dang good considering the radio is only doing about 20 watts PEP. It's doing just a little bit less than 400. Now, if there's any doubt about the power it's actually doing, remember back, we're only at 14.5 volts, and we were drawing almost 40 amps. So, yes, it is doing that kind of power. It's doing some serious power there with the McKinley. Again, that's why I tell people you don't need the RM Italy 503 HD if you have a radio like this. There's no need. You're paying extra money, and you're actually going to see less performance out of the 503 HD because it requires more drive to make it do the power. Whereas the regular 503, you don't need a 35 or 40 watt radio, but you're essentially going to see the same output power as the HD. You can also use a 203 with one of these. If you don't want to buy one of these 503s, the 203 is also a good combination with the McKinley. Alright guys, so now what I'm going to do, rather than pause the video, I'm just going to set the camera down here, if I can get it to set in a good spot. And I'm going to adjust this thing on AM because it is a little aggravating to get the McKinley to turn the dead key down on AM. So bear with me, I'm setting the camera down, and we're going to put this thing in AM mode and turn it down a little bit. Okay, I think we may have it set. Let's see here. turn it down a little bit more. Sorry about the delay here, guys. Yep. Okay, that'll work. We've got it close enough here. All right, let's get back on with the show. So what I'm gonna do, we're gonna start out on average power here, show you what it does on average. McKinley's not a huge average power swinging radio, so we will see how it does on average. Actually doing pretty good, about 175 or so on average. And then PEP, this is on AM, by the way. Hello, check, 1, 2, 3, audio check, and still at 400 watts PEP on AM. Check, 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 audio, check, 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 audio, check, 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 audio, check, 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 audio. And it's dead keying a little bit over 100. We'll check that again just on average. Yeah. We could probably even drop this down a little bit more and get it a little bit below 100 watts. But it's dead keying just a little over 100 watts and swinging 400 PEP. Again, sorry it took me a second to get the RF power down on the McKinley. So the McKinley, you'll turn the RF power down on it, you have to key the mic, and then you hit this button right here, and then you dial it back to where you want it right here, and then push it to enter it. The only thing that I don't like about the McKinley is what you have to do to set the dead key. So you key the mic, push this button while it's keyed up, turn it back right here. When you're done, you push this to save your setting. So that's why I had to set the camera down for a second. So apologize for that, guys. But that is the President McKinley and the RM503. Again, killer combination. I mean, you guys are seeing it, 400 watts PEP. Even on a conservative meter, you know, that was like a Dosey or something that reads real tight, I'd say 300 to 350 PEP anyway. So really nice combination. If you're interested in something like this, let me know. Shoot me a text, 423-299-3535. The McKinley is on the website, and this is the last McKinley that I have right now. I do plan to get some more of them in, but for right now, that's the last one I have. Also have plenty of RM503s. I've got them on eBay. But if you want the best price, shoot me a text, 423-299-3535. Rooster in Tennessee, see you, bye.